Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining us here on this truly magnificent Monday as we invite you to be a part of today's Talk Today. 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-TALK. 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. It's going to be some open line. We had on our calendar a scheduled discussion to give us a little insight into some financial matters. Hey, when it materializes, we'll share it with you. If it changes, it changes, But we go with the flow at times and other times. But I'd like to take the opportunity to perhaps share with us an interesting dialogue I had earlier. Someone called it a presentation. I was just glad to get a chance to maybe see something from another perspective. So a group of individuals in the hospitality tourism sector, some workers, some entrepreneurs, some investors, depends how you term them, but people who look into, maybe make a little bit of money, whether it's a salary or otherwise. But they were sharing that when we're looking at our tourism product now, there are a couple of things that are woefully missing. And we can point fingers, and probably rightly so, at the government, the industry leaders and the like. Because, as one lady said, it's simple. We are failing to recognize there are a number of things that are not exactly what they can be and should be. Primarily the safety and the security aspect of from the perspective of the tourists who visit here, but from the rest of us. And equally, what is that experience like? From the cruise passenger, we may have made some, piecemeal attempts, but nothing really significant. When they're getting off the ships and going back on the ships, to when they're on their tours, just getting on and off the tours. But going to the public beach in particular, she says that in itself, is horrendous. If you ever try to go there, as a, beach goer yourself, you'll see how bad it is. Not just for, the vendors, but the way the vending takes place. What about going out to the Stingray City Sandbar, all the other excursions? Are we making it as best for, the person who is paying the money, as well as the person who is trying to make the money from offering the tour or attraction? Now, she also shared that we're taking for granted the safety. We were, relative to crime-free to low crime. We were the safest to one of the safest. Little words that keep added in. Just reminds her, to an extent of Animal Farm. Each time we just add a little bit to clarify what was said previously. Now, if it's because we're pointing fingers at the government and not holding them responsible, well, change it. If it's because we're not looking at ourselves, the players in the industry, then what are we doing to address that as well? Now, she said there are a couple of things that are missing, and unfortunately, trying to address them without question is going to make some people uncomfortable, because they're going to be, I think, the best way to say it, they're going to be feel like they're going to be called out. Some are going to be thrown under the bus without question, but maybe they need to be. Now, what is your view with respect to what she shares? She also said that the recent uptick in numbers of people who are visiting here, from the occupancy levels at the accommodations to what seems to be a boom in the sector, is that short-lived? And what are we doing to make sure that when things, return for the rest of the Caribbean, it won't be business as normal, because they're going to come back better, stronger? Are we able to make sure that when they remain or return as competitors, that we remain attractive? Not just because we're now, perhaps the only game, but what if we weren't? She doesn't believe we're doing that great job. There are many that are paying lip service to it, patting themselves on the back without really appreciating this sentiment. Now, she says she's been in the sector long enough to understand that this is a game that is, in her words, very cutthroat. You smile and pretend, but it doesn't need to be that way. That's not how it was in the past. People came to this country both to work and to live, to visit and to return, because they felt welcome. There was a sense of sincerity. That has changed and has changed, in a sense that we may not really appreciate. Well, let's hear your thoughts. 9498037 or 1-800-534-8255. Or we can send us your thoughts on our WhatsApp, 925-3261. If you choose, you can even email talktoday@candw.ky. Get an opportunity to listen to some of these individuals who know firsthand, who are directly affected by it. A young fellow was sharing that as an employee in this sector, someone who wants to, as best as he says he can, he wants to make this a career in the industry. And he thought, okay, I go, I present myself, this is what I would like, to do. Get a job in one of the larger properties, willing to do anything. First he said he had asked, do you have any sort of training program? Minimum wage is fine, just start me out and rotate me through the different areas to see, where you think I would be the best fit for organization and perhaps where I could develop an interest. I said, nope, really there's nothing there. Then he said, okay, well, I can do this and that and the next thing. And he shared that if it wasn't for one individual in the organization, he would have been out long time, simply because, the people there really, one, didn't seem to be interested in trying to train you, and two, perhaps didn't really seem interested in wanting to hire you to begin with. But this person helped him out and helped him along and moved him through. Now, he felt almost as if you had to not just pay your dues, but you had to almost endure a level of hazing. He shared that he came from a different background and entered the industry, and that way he could make that sort of connection and correlation. But if the government isn't aware that the industry isn't presenting an appealing, welcoming face to Caymanians and young Caymanians specifically, then they're sadly mistaken. Because he shared that unfortunately he doesn't believe his experience was one that was isolated or just because of perhaps the timing or what have you. He felt that was the case just throughout. From discouraging you with respect to all the expectations of the amount of hours and days you have to work, to the limited pay that you would receive. And he thought, well, if this guy working in this aspect of the hotel or the sector is making only this amount, then how can this guy live this side of lifestyle? He must obviously be doing something else, whether illegal or stealing from the property or doing something else. But he come to understand there's a lot of money to be made in the sector, not just from the one-off, huge tips that people get or to share the gratuity pool if it's done fairly, but the actual pay itself at the end of the day. And, he shared that he had met someone, she was talking to him about She worked extremely hard, but which job in which you don't. But then when she got some time off, sometimes, as much as 2 months, she could choose to travel and to see the world. Another job gave her that. She had toyed with teaching way back when, but realized that in the summers, it wasn't always that easy to take time off. The perception that teachers have this long summers and all these holiday breaks. Well, if she wanted to be a good teacher, she needed to spend her summers upskilling. She needed to be preparing to get back to her class. And there were other things that were ongoing during the summers that sometimes involved her students. But in hospitality, she has a lot more freedom. Yeah, she may be 12 hours straight on her feet, but that's no different than in the classroom. Yeah, she may have to work weekends and public holidays, but as a dedicated teacher, she was finding herself doing just that. Marking papers, setting things, participating in activities that her students were equally in. Well, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Want to invite you to be a part of a discussion. Quick heads up, 1 p.m. We're expecting some of the contestants from the Miss Cayman, competition, contest, pageant to join us. And if you've been in our studio, you know that it's a bright, wonderful place with an incredible view outside. As we look out, no, we see nothing. But I'm told it's raining outside. And, just a quick check from Miss Susan and telling us that up on the eastern side, Shamrock Road, in Preston in particular, looks like a lot of rain. So if you're in that area, the roads are probably wet. Please just be a little bit more careful and considerate, a little bit more cautious. What is it that that PSA Radio Cayman used to have long ago? Better to arrive late than never, So if you got to slow down, well, do just that and get yourself, there safely, and be quite aware that your actions on the road affect not only you but other drivers as well. Let's pause though. Take a quick short break. When we come back, if you can find your fingers to the touchpad and dial 1-800-534-8255, that works as well. Or you can send in a couple of WhatsApps to look at during the break, see if they're for us to listen and read and share with you. Our WhatsApp is 925-3261. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
Did you know that the Department of Environmental Health operates a recycling program in the Cayman Islands? Recyclables such as number 1 and 2 plastics, tin and aluminum cans, cardboard, as well as glass and ceramic items are recycled on Grand Cayman by the DEH. Take these items to the recycling depots located at all Foster supermarkets, Kirk Market, and Hurley's Grand Harbor. Remember, keep the Cayman Islands clean. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. For more information about recycling, please visit DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky. Young World Fashion going out of business sale. Everything must go. All stocks reduced. Up to 75% on all items. We would like to thank you, our valued customers, for their patronage over the many years. Young World Fashions is located on Eastern Avenue. Everything must go.
It's going down for it.
Call 949-6313. Young World Fashions going out of business sale. Up to 75% on all remaining items. Everything must go.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037, 949-8037. Or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Or if you choose, you can send us an email. talktoday@candw.ky. 1 p.m. after headline news, we'll have some of the contestants from Miss Teen join the studio. The scheduled discussion perhaps will materialize another time as we give you some insight into what was planned in. Maybe we'll see what happens. But it's open line as we take your calls, have you sharing. As I shared earlier, I had a chance to listen to a few individuals sort of give me a rundown, a lowdown, insight into where they think we are with respect to our tourism sector. Their growing frustration they shared with not just this government but past governments, and trying to listen to people who are, as one lady put it, in the know, on the ground, facing our visitors and guests on a daily basis. She said no amount of money paid to hired consultants will give you this candid insight. She shared that the guests who come here in return come for a number of reasons. Yeah, the water quality is great, but are we paying attention to that and seeing that some areas have not only been overused, but those areas themselves probably are not as clear and as nice and inviting as they used to be? Partly because of overcrowding, partly because of development, but maybe there is something else at stake, other than what we're seeing globally. Is there something that we're doing here? The rain runoff, the potential pollution from some of our onshore activities. She also shared, what about the visitor who is here and had a bad experience? They didn't have to be involved with some sort of illegal activity or the victim of a crime or something worse, but just wasn't given quality service. Now, she shared that we have a lot more people coming here, a lot, she used the word, of scammers. They'll come and they'll pretend to be, from this particular outfit or this part of the media, or find some way to get a free stay. And she's had a few of those over the years. You know how to deal with them. And sometimes it's challenging. You take your licks because they pull a fast one. Other times you hold your ground and, But she shared that a few times it seems that the industry itself is ill-equipped to deal with it. As an example, she said, once there was an instance at one of the properties which she was at. One of the people staying there alleged certain things, and she thought, well, there's no way that could be not here, in Cayman, for obvious reasons, But the person insisted. Now, they got some of the authorities involved, and different things transpired, and she thought, this just seems wrong. Something seems to be missing. And she, stuck to her belief, and then eventually was able to, as she puts it, get to the bottom of it. But at the end of the day, that person was trying to, defraud the property, and that was it. Nothing happened. Stay was coming to a close. They left, and no one was the wiser. But what if someone had tried that elsewhere? No, equally. She thinks sometimes the people that are employed, from the employees that are there directly to the subcontractors, to some who would just come on the properties, are we making sure that the visitor experience is safe and as enjoyable? Not to make it as if you come into, she sees one property has developed, this mindset where they're trying to present as being this exclusive place, but all they're doing is create an image that for the rest of the sector, you are excluded from engaging directly with the visitor. Now, is that what we want? And she thinks this is where the government, over the years, has failed to appreciate what is happening. She was not necessarily, that critical, but certainly wasn't very complimentary of the Department of Tourism either. But she says that she would try to share with them once again, perhaps through the association, perhaps through other means, and greater appreciation, because she believes that unfortunately DOT has gone from this independent objective thing to nothing more than a fair factor at the whim of what she thinks is either the ministry itself or some of the bigger players within the sector. 949-8037. Let's go to our phones. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon.
How are you?
Oh, very thankful. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thankful too. I said, let me call because you sound like you wanted somebody to call. And
well,
it's such a good topic. You know, you'd think that you'd have like 1 million people calling in one time, but
well, you would think so. I got a couple of people sharing some views.
Yeah, but I agree totally. Oh my gosh! I mean, whoever that was that wrote that letter to you, and all those other comments as well from the little guy and different people. Yeah. They hit the nail right on the head.
What?
I mean,
you're true.
This island is just it's totally politically motivated now. It's nothing else. There's no care. They're not concerned about the little guy on the street. Hence why I believe Mr. Chaudhary is having such an issue. Bring him up. Yeah, and the tourism department, they are claiming that, things are up. Yeah, things may be up. But as the author of that letter posted, it's mostly up because of those other islands that got hit really badly with those hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
They're wanting to talk about building a dock. I'm totally against a dock in town. Totally against the dock. Mm-hmm. Because it'll probably be days before taxi drivers get anything off the ship. If they can come off 1 by 1, 2 by 2, whatever. I mean, right now, as it is, they come off on the tenders, right? Mm-hmm. Come with the tenders. And we can see when the tender is coming in, full, empty, whatever. And then the visitor gets that little, view coming in too. I mean, that's totally different from just walking off and going straight there and,
Mm-hmm.
Then the restaurants. Look at the restaurants. The restaurants are gonna close down because if they can get free food on the ship, trust me, they're not gonna come ashore and eat. If they can walk right back on and off.
What is interesting, and just from the discussion I was relaying earlier, it would appear that some of the people who are directly involved now, some who don't, according to them, they don't really have anything invested one way or the other relative to whether the dock goes forward or not when it comes to the financial perspective. But they have shared that as they interact with guests and the like, whether it's a cruise passenger who, sort of stumbles upon the property or they happen upon, or whether it's the stayover tourist, that they don't find too many of them in favor of what is proposed because of the environmental factor, potential impact that it could have, not so much relative to the cost, but was the environmental aspect. I'm wondering to what extent we're cognizant of that.
The government is hell-bent on getting this done for personal reasons. Personal. I'm saying personal because Mr. Moses Colonel, for one. I mean, half of Georgetown is owned by his family. Right?
Well, that is debatable. I mean, that may be the largest shareholder now, yeah.
Then you got Mr. Robert Hamilton, who has a lot of business in town. Okay, they may be employing people, but look at who's in those stores. I don't see too many Caymanians. I mean, real born and bred Caymanians in those stores. These are people they're bringing in. And if they don't have a job, then they're going to fall, on government to go get food stamps and, rent and lights and all kinds of stuff. Who are they building up this island for? Well, and then when I look at the airport, right? I mean, they actually built this airport or remodeled this airport based on Cayman not having any rain. Looks like. because they have no jetways. I mean, it could be pouring down rain. People got to come from the airline to the airport in the pouring rain or sit on the airline until everything is stopped. And then they come outside. They have these big old bars up on the top. Looks like it's made for a cover. But so why not put the cover on it now that you're still progressing? I know a little bit of, construction is still happening, but for the comfort of the visitor. I mean, sometimes the lines are way back there and the broiling hot sun. Who can stand in that for like half an hour or hour or whatever?
Well, the sentiments you express, and this is, as I listened earlier to the individuals who were saying that, that the visitor, whether it's the airport or the cruise port, what are we doing to make sure they feel from the first time they step ashore to that last, sort of parting goodbye, that they feel, wow, this was excellent. And sometimes there's a question as to whether we leave them with a good impression or we give them a first warm welcome. So.
I don't think too much of that is happening. I mean, from what I can see. I mean, I try my hardest, my best. Matter of fact, I have a website, Cayman Native Tours. I'm up on TripAdvisor, and right now I got Certificate of Excellence for 2018 on TripAdvisor with all excellent reviews. No good, no terrible, no very good, no poor, nothing.
Yeah, but
so I'm proud of myself for what I'm doing, but then there's people out there who are not, they're only in it for the money. They're not in it to have that person come back and look for them.
But that's the thing, and I'm glad you mentioned, because one of the individuals said that, if one person or one property or one company gets a good review, that can be soured if one person or one property or one company gets a bad review, because everybody in that sector is painted with the same brush, and then you look at it and say, you got to be careful for the people here. As an example, one of them made the allegation that there was a particular instance, I presume this was some time back, I don't know, where it seemed that some staff were, what the best way to put it, maybe less than honest with their guests. Perhaps they weren't pouring on the right drinks in the right quantities. Maybe they weren't, whatever they were doing, right? And it didn't take long for it kind of get that perception that be careful of this place. Yeah,
that's the image we're starting to portray. I mean, it's not that friendly, welcoming Caymanian image anymore, because we're so sour with what is taking place anyway. I mean, we still try to put out our what's coming from within us, because that's what makes you that person out there. I mean, this has to come from within. You can't just jump in and say, I'm going into tourism, if that's not what you feel like.
Yeah, it's a calling, huh? Yeah, it has to be a passion,
yeah. Yeah, you have to have it, or you don't. Otherwise, I mean, you're just in it for the money.
Right.
Simple. So, anyway, Dwayne, I could say a lot more, and
next time
I'm gonna have to make a little Bible, write down everything that I want to tell you. But
anytime. But thank you too, right? And enjoy it. Keep up the great work, and hopefully we'll chat with you soon. All right.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
You too. Well, it's that time. Let's quickly pause respectfully. Stay with us. Come back after the break. We'll be right back.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken share.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken share.
I am not a chicken share.
Whoa, I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC, just $12 each, and it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
The time is now. The speed is here. March to the beat of the mobile revolution with Flow 4G LTE and a prepaid mobile combo plan. Activate a Flow prepaid mobile combo plan to get calling minutes and data in one convenient package. And every plan comes with double data. Enjoy the proven best overall experience in Cayman with a Flow prepaid mobile combo plan. Now with double data, coverage, value, speed. Flow 4G LTE. Always connected, always faster. Visit discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments. Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, seaboard.
It was great catching up with you. I've got to go pick up my prescription at Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor.
But you live in West Bay. Do you know you can go to Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor Square, their second location?
Really?
Yes, and if you go to healthcarepharmacy.ky, you can refill and transfer your prescriptions online and collect at either location.
That's so convenient. Thanks. I'm off to Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor Square.
Healthcare Pharmacy Grand Harbor, Healthcare Pharmacy Governor Square, and always healthcarepharmacy.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. Let's go to our phones and join our callers. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Very thankful. How about yourself?
Thankful, Dwayne. And down here in West Bay, it looks like it's getting ready to rain. We have some rumblings of thunder.
You sure that there's people hungry on the bellies you hear?
Probably. But, usually West Bay's is this time of the day, they're already cooked.
Yep.
Or they're cooking.
Cooking.
Like Peter is doing right now.
Ooh. Wow. So I must get ready to eat too, so that's good. This siesta back in the day was good, huh?
Your last caller is absolutely right. We do not need a port in town. Dwayne, not to brag, I mentioned this over and over again. I have been on many cruises. Some of them were where the boat could dock right up in the town, and the people, including me, come ashore, and we take pictures, we look at the stores, and we know we can go back right to the ship and get our food because that is what we paid for. Okay? So they'll do the same thing here. They would not patronize the stores. They would not patronize the restaurants. They have no reason to. The ship itself has 4 or 5 bars. So, the bars can't open while they're in dock anyway. It's against the law. But the restaurants can. So they have no problem. So that lady is absolutely right. It's only the Cockernels and Robert Hamilton that is forcing this. And some of those Cockernels is not going to be alive when our younger generation have to pay all this money for docks that we're not going to be able to use like the way they should be used, because guess what? When Nor'wester comes again, the ship's not going to come in because the seas wash. And I understand they have to dig deeper, so the seas is going to wash way up. In little Nor'westers that we're having now, they have to close the roads. So what good is this dock? I wish that these people would travel and take cruises and see what's going on. And Moses Colonel, you need to get some ideas about tourism. And I'm sorry. If any petition come here for me to sign, like Ezard and Mr. Arden is talking about, they're absolutely right. I wish I could sign one several times over, but I know I can't. But it's not right for the people to They don't know what's going on about these docks. It's only those that want it. And I can tell you one thing. Hardly any of the taxi drivers are going to get business. Any of the tour operators is going to get business because they're right there. They're right there. I've seen the Cayman Islands. I wish they would think again and think about our people that is in this sort of business, restaurants, the tour operators, the taxi cabs, and whatnot. We've got a busy tourist season now, but some of those islands are going to soon open up that is less expensive. And you know what? I've been to some islands that have excellent tours where the tour operators speak several languages. Honduras is one of them. In Rotan is one of them. Belize is one of them. And they got beautiful terminals. What we have is not terminals. We don't even have decent restrooms for these people to go to. When they come ashore, they have children, and they got to be asking shopkeepers, which say, no, that is only for our staff or some excuse, because the restrooms at the harbor is deplorable. They're in bad condition. They're smelly. They're everything else. Now, how is this little tiny island is going to accommodate all the many cruise ship passengers? It's a mess now in town. Think it over, Mr. Colonel. Talk to us, the people that live in here, that got to live here, not the foreigners that work here, makes a whole heap of money, and then they can pack up and go anytime they want to go. The lady is absolutely right. But these politicians, most of them are already in, but they got to be reminded who it is that's paying them. We got 4 down here. We only hear them on the radio. We don't see them. You call for them. You can't get an answer. It's always an excuse. And when you do see them, oh my, I'll see. Now that's recorded. I'll see what I can do to help you. They only help those that they think that have voted for them, and not the people themselves. They're not looking out for who they're responsible for. I've been begging for a multipurpose hall in West Bay in case of emergencies. When that is not used for emergencies, God be with us. We could rent it out for so many other things. But nobody pays attention. McKeever don't pay attention. Tara, she might as well live in Hong Kong because you want to hear her on the radio. Eugene, he's like a mute. And Bernie, he's sick and he's new to the whole thing. So who do we have to look to? I'm sorry, I have to mention these names. They already hate me. They probably hate me more, but that's the fact. We're paying them. And they're enjoying big salaries and their travels and their perks and their whatnot. And some of those people that have voted for them and will continue to vote, they can get their trips. But who's paying for their trips too, if it's not us, the people out here? So I'm sorry that I have to bring this up, but it's on my mind. Who like it. Who don't, that's their problem. That's their problem.
Well, I appreciate you sharing,
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Susan, and thank you, Dwayne, for listening to me. I could go on, but I'm like that lady. I know somebody else may have a different opinion, so I thank you, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, too, and enjoy the afternoon and the rain. And as I listened to the call, I was thinking earlier to what one other lady this morning was sharing. And she said, it's unfortunate. Sometimes you say things in a way that people misinterpret or somehow believe that because what you're saying is critical or harsh or is necessarily what they want to hear, that they take it personal. And she's been trying recently to look at it from a perspective of, well, okay, how do I say this? But if you couch it in a language, sometimes it loses its effectiveness. The message gets lost. But she shared, unfortunately, too many of us pay attention to the messenger and ignore the message altogether. And at the end of the day, we continue on this path, we're going to get it wrong. And all of us, she said, all of us who've invested in this probably will only then see the impact if it's a negative consequence to our bottom line. She gave us an experience